I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me. I hate camping out.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help. Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danon, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danons in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danons in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Burn in hell! Confiscated! Free Blazer! Torn up! Airborne beast! My perception! I'm only getting started! This one's mine!
Got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
Shattering
All yours!
Searing flame!
Now you see what I can do!
On guard!
Flaming thrust!
This one's mine! Flame! Reload! I'm out!
Can't get out of this!
Watch and weep!
Rising Wyvern! I'm not done! Hurricane thrust! Rising Phoenix! Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rumble! I'm ready! Rising Phoenix!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
I won't rest until I'm the best I can be.
Still striving to be on par with the Lord?
You simply can't be too strong when battle is a part of your everyday. I won't forgive you!
Resonate with the earth!
Rising Wyvern! Not today!
Radiant here! Here you go! I'm ready! So good with airborne. Demons descend!
Flashing fang!
Well, looky here.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my heart.
When he slows down, that's our chance! Thanks!
It's like trying to keep up with a wolf.
In a bind?
Blew away!
Resonate with the earth!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah, and pummeling to me!
Sonic Thrust!
The fluidity of their movement is simply incredible.
Castle! Rising Sun!
Can you take
This one's gone. Mega Ray! Tiger Blade! Mega Ray!
Take
This
this?
one's mine!
Blew away!
Tiger Blade!
Elusive deity!
House it! Flaming Meteor! Shadows!
Lightning
Mega Ray!
Can't
a stick!
By the power of water!
Can you take it?
Destruction!
Glacial spear! Here's evil! Time to shine!
Take this! It's over!
Look sharp!
Begin! Blow away!
This one's mine! Tiger blade! Reload!
Elusive deity!
Mega blade!
I'm ready!
Penetration! Going in! Take this! Tiger blade!
Dragon form!
Going
Try
in!
this!
Take this!
Explosive ring! Take this!
Tiger blade!
I'm ready!
Searing flame! Reload! On guard! Take this way! Tiger blade!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry, I've got your back.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
I won't forgive you!
You picked the wrong fight!
I can handle it!
Negative gate!
Tiger
Resonate
blade!
with the
Kill
earth.
it if I do!
Stalagmite!
It's a duel of the arts!
Win!
You made me angry. That was a bad idea.
Why can't they just sit still? Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes, a merry distraction.
There's still more to go!
Prepare to be seized.
Tiger blade! Less talking, more doing.
This one's all mine.
This one's mine. Tiger Blade!
I'm ready! Show me! In an instant! Impact block!
Take on!
Here I
Into the
come!
shadows!
Burn in hell!
Negative state! This one's mine!
You're mine! Demon Fang!
Going in!
Pierce through! Sword Rain Alpha! An Astral Mind?
That's my cue!
Shut him down! I'm ready!
Here goes! Mega Ray!
Dragon Form!
Going in!
Sonic Thrust! Try this! Make it right! Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
I feel sprightlier than before.
Gotta break through! Resonate with the earth!
Going in!
Rising Light!
Here! This one's mine! Tiger Anything in armor is all mine!
I'm ready!
Go! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes, a merry distraction.
There's still more to go!
Save you! Rising Viper!
Mega Ray!
Blue Escape!
By the power of
Rondo!
water!
Rising Phoenix!
Going
Be
in!
still! Rising Thor!
Here!
Be still! Rising Velvet!
Going in!
Here I come!
In a bind,
Lunar Rondo! Rising Phoenix!
Going in!
Rising Viper! Rising Phoenix!
resonate with the earth. Stalagmite.
You're mine! Demon
Tiger
Fang!
Blade!
Double Demon Fang!
I'm only getting lightning! We're coming through!
Rising Viper!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah. We used to run up and down these slopes all the time for our training exercises.
Damn. You weren't messing around.
Seriously? Is this a joke?
Never miss! This one's
Ready and
mine!
raring!
Lightning!
Instant
Tiger
fury!
Fury!
Can you take it? I'll smash you!
Glacial Silver!
You want
Here's
it?
evil!
Make it rain!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours to me!
No complaints here!
Going in!
Rising Viper! Negative Gale! Resonate with the earth! Here I come! Demon Fang!
Do it!
Demon Fang! Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes, a merry distraction.
Rising
There's
Viper!
still more to go!
Mirage!
This one's mine! Here's evil!
Here I come! Rising Viper! It's over! Rising Phoenix!
Resonate with the earth!
Here I come! Ready!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes. I should be of some use to us now.
You weren't exactly dead weight before.
Except in regard to doing basic chores. That's far enough!
I shall ensure you survive this.
You're mine! Burn!
I'll think
Ready and raring!
can't get out of this.
You're finished!
Here goes!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a final time, the enemy reveals us too.
We'll soon see about that!
I'm ready!
All yours, Kisara.
Glacial Spear! Here's the evil!
Rising Viper! On guard!
Make your way!
Falcon!
That's a pretty fancy skill there.
All the better to protect you with, my dear.
Then I'll leave the front line to you.
That's far enough!
Let the marksman handle this! This one's mine!
Be still!
Don't worry, I've got plenty to go around.
Burn! I'm ready!
Mine.
Hear me! Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Damn it! It's too fast!
Stand back. I'll trim it up.
Begin!
Not in your dreams.
Demon Fang!
Tiger
Double
Blade.
Demon Knock!
Hot field.
Double Demon Fang!
That's it. Will they come?
Ready and
Piercing roar.
Armor won't save you!
Healing circle.
Now I see it! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll heal you all.
You're mine!
In a bind?
Make it rain.
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Ignite!
I'm ready. Tiger Blade. This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes!
So, fire and earth astral energy, huh?
A perfect combination.
The design of this equipment is really interesting.
You must really like it, Alphen. More Danon ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.